Hi, church, wherever you may be. We appreciate you just joining us for our weekly devotion time. And one of the things that has been difficult during this season, and you can join with me, I'm sure, is the uncomfortability we feel at having people over our homes or going over to somebody else's home. Or maybe it's meeting in large groups. We've all felt these things. And this is translated into kind of being unsure even how to greet one another. Have you been in these awkward situations? You're meeting somebody and you're not sure if you're supposed to bump hands with them, you hit the elbow thing, or even if somebody's really troubled or grieving or all those kind of things. How do you welcome one another? Well, I think it's created this perhaps a gulf between people, and it becomes difficult to even communicate. But as we move more to being allowed to do these kind of things, and more people are able to get out and feel more comfortable with those kind of settings, I think it'd be great for us to get back to the idea of practicing hospitality. Well, what does that look like? In the book of Romans, Paul urges the church to do just that, practice hospitality. This idea is to be welcoming and caring and concerned for the needs of others. And a lot of times it happens in our homes, but it certainly can happen in our church. Are we welcoming and accepting people and choosing to be hospitable? Back in my youth group days, there was a pretty easy song to play on the guitar, and it was a good little jingle that went along with it. And it was called "My Father's House" by a group called Audio Adrenaline. And basically the song went along. He talks about that there's this big house with lots and lots of room, a big table with lots and lots of food, and a big field where we can play football. That was the chorus that went along, and he says, "This is my Father's house." I'm not sure about all the pieces to that song and how true that is to God's word, but the point is there, that God practices hospitality. Listen to John chapter 14. Will you with me? And see if this idea is true. "Do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, I would have told you. I am going there to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am." I think that's kind of cool that God is all about, He's going to accept us into His house and welcome us. I love that idea. Years ago in our old home in St. Helens, it was a centrally located house in town, and we kind of chose that on purpose. It was close to the church, but it was also centrally located, and we chose that setup on purpose. And it had a large yard, and it was a decent enough house to house Becky and I at that point, and little Ben. But as years went by, a lot of students found that it was a good place for them to just hang out. And we had lots of meetings there, and kids would hang out and watch movies and play games, and we did youth group there all the time. And then when Ben got a little older, he'd have his buddies come over, non-Christians as well as Christians, and they felt safe and had plenty of discussions and around the Lord. Could it be that opening up our house, opening up our church is practicing godliness? I think so. I think the attitudes and actions that we do, and we show people in our homes that we are the same people, is a tremendous value. So, folks, as we move into the season that we are more open with one another, let's not forget practicing hospitality. Let's open up our homes again. Let's have that spirit of opening up our church fully and all that comes along with it. practicing hospitality. Who knows? Maybe as we welcome somebody into our home, we are entertaining angels, as the book of Hebrews tells us. Thanks, church. Hope you have a great week.